How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworx, and today we are going to talk about the Boker Strike automatic knife series. Now, I've reviewed these knives individually before. The Strike, I've talked about the Mini lately. In my most recent video, I just went over the Stubby Strike, but I thought it'd be great to show you guys all three of them together so you can really get a good feel for how they compare to each other. So first off, we have the standard Boker Plus Strike Auto. This is right around $50 on the site. It's just under 8 inches overall, 7.875, with a 3¼ inch blade. This is D2 steel. I don't believe that the Strike has always come in D2 steel, so it's recently had an upgrade in the blade steel there, which is awesome. It's in a drop point style with a flat grind, and this one has a black finish. In fact, that's one of the things I love about this one is this all black design here. I think it's super sexy. Got your aluminum handle with the stainless steel liners. Nice open construction there. Great texture and milling. Great ergonomics. Nice big finger choil and one for your thumb as well with some generous jimping. This is 4.79 ounces. It's not super heavy, but some good heft to it. A 2-way deep carry pocket clip, so you can reverse that to a tip-down orientation if you prefer. Got your safety switch, got your lanyard hole here, so all good things. This one tends to kind of hide in the shadow of the Kalashnikov, so to speak, just because the Kalashnikov is so unbelievably snappy and very affordable, but this is close to the same price. And I think has a little bit more of a tactical vibe to it. I think that it's basically trying to give you the tools you need if you're going to use it in that application, with the jimping and the ergonomics, the lanyard hole, the safety switch, even the push button. Let's see if I can get that to focus for you. Even that push button is really textured to make it really easy for you to find it and grip it and get some tactile feedback there. So I could see this being great if, you wear gloves. Maybe this is your work knife. It's big, it's solid, it's going to be able to handle whatever you need to throw at it. And it's got decent action. Again, not as snappy as the Kalashnikov, but plenty snappy in its own right. So there's your standard Strike. Let's compare it to the Mini now. The Mini, most of these specs are going to be the same as far as the steel, the finish, the grind, all of that. This one has a 2.625 inch blade, so it's only 6.375 inches overall, and it's 3.12 ounces. So they shaved a couple ounces off the weight there. One other difference is that the clip is not reversible. You still have a deep carry, but only one orientation there. But other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. I always like having a smaller option for those of us who aren't into or just don't really need a beefier knife, or maybe you don't have the pocket space, or you just have smaller hands like I do. This one fits my hand very well. Although for somebody with even a slightly larger hand than mine, it might feel too small. But for me, it feels like a great fit, and it's quite comfortable. Give you a good comparison there. So the greatest reduction in size is actually in the handle rather than the blade, but a pretty big difference in size there. Okay, let's break out the Stubby. I love this little guy. This one is actually the same price as the Mini. So if your brain works like mine, you might automatically think, hey, get more knife for the same price. I'd rather go with the Mini. But there are actually a couple things about this design that I like more than the Mini. So overall length is 5.325 inches. This is a 1.875 inch blade. So this is actually designed to be California legal. However, make sure you check your local laws. I am not a lawyer. I can't give you legal advice, so it's really best if you do your research and make for absolute sure that this is legal to carry where you live. Interesting note, it's 3.22 ounces. The Mini is 3.12. So not much more, but it's actually heavier. I thought that was really interesting. And I think it comes down to the fact that it has a fatter handle and, a broader blade than the Mini. In fact, the handle is comparable in girth, so to speak, to the standard size, and the blade as well. And that's something I actually really appreciate, because even though the size, the length of this handle fits my hand really well, one thing that I'm actually not a huge fan of is when, shrinking down the size of a knife, they do it proportionally. So the mini's handle is more slender compared to the full size. So it looks nice, it's proportional. It makes sense to do it that way. Even though I might want a shorter handle, I would actually prefer if it was still just as wide as the full size, because especially as the knife gets smaller, I feel like you need that extra girth in the handle. You want it to fill your hand. You kind of need that extra grip and extra cutting power in, this sort of chunkier blade for the knife to still be plenty functional, even though it's much smaller. So I think that they did a really good job of giving you a knife that has that California legal size blade, but is still a very functional automatic knife. And this thing is so freaking snappy. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like the action gets better as the knife gets smaller. I'm not sure how that works. One of you physics guys out there should be able to explain it, right? So nice, snappy little blade. So when it comes to choosing a favorite, this makes it super hard for me. I mean, personally, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the standard size. I like the fit of this handle lengthwise, but I feel like ultimately this one is the best design if you're going to vary from the standard size. So, you know what? I think the jury's out this time. I'm not sure I can actually pick a favorite from these. They're all great in their own right. It really just depends on your needs and what you're looking for in your knife, what you're going to use it for. So I think this is the point where I ask for your input. I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on the Strike, and especially on these other variations that they've just come out with. If you had to choose one, which would you choose? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new video drops. There will be links to these knives in the description below. And come on, guys, you got to get on grindworx.com and get on that knife party. Even better, join our email list, and all of this wonderful knifey goodness will come to your inbox every week. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.